the whole town. The streets are all soft sand, so makes it a little bit challenging to ride around without kind of falling over. Ah, what a nice place this was. They even had a little coffee maker with coffee grounds in the room. Really refreshing after a super expensive place the day before. So today, rather this morning, I woke up on the Sea of Cortez, the eastern side of Baja Peninsula, and tonight I'm going to ride over to San Carlos, which is on the Pacific side. Baja is such a skinny peninsula, it's pretty easy to ride back and forth, sometimes more than once in a day from one side to the other. Tomorrow I booked a ferry for me and Brisa over to the mainland from La Paz to Los Mochis. The ferry leaves at 1:30 tomorrow, and it's an 8-hour ferry ride across the sea, getting in at about 9:30. So of course that's late at night. I booked a hotel right next to the ferry terminal because I do not want to be riding around in Sinaloa after dark. Here we are, riding into the sunset, quite literally. The road had a lot of potholes in it, turning off from the main road and riding for most of the way. It was directly into the sun. It was a little bit sketchy. Kind of a trade-off between wanting to get to the destination before the sun got much lower and also not wanting to go too fast for a risk of hitting one of the potholes. Anyway, I made it, and I am just about a mile away. Puerto San Carlos. So I'm going to this hotel called Hotel Sunset. It is a little bit more expensive than other options in town, but it is right on the beach. And I figured, well, I'm driving all the way out here, I should go for a view of the beach. Otherwise, I'd just stay on the main Highway 1. Looks like we are riding on sand the rest of the way to the hotel. Aye, it is slippery. This bike is definitely not made for riding in sand. 17-inch front wheel. Just sliding all over the place. Alright, this is a little bit better. At least it's hard packed. It should be right up here, hopefully. With this big berm, I don't know what view it's going to have, the sunset. Yeah, there it is, Hotel Sunset. I guess you can sit up there with some swings. Man, this whole entire town, the streets are all sand. It's going to be fun getting out tomorrow. Okay, so I got a room in the Hotel Sunset. It truly does have a really nice view of the sunset, which happens to be right now. Although, like I said, the whole town, the streets are all soft sand, so on a bike with two 17-inch wheels makes it a little bit challenging to ride around without kind of falling over. And I gotta leave here at 7 in the morning to get to La Paz in time to make the ferry. The ferry leaves at 1:30 and they want me there. It said 3 hours before. I guess I actually have to go through customs and stuff to go over to mainland Mexico. So that is about a 3.5 hour ride from here, so I gotta leave at 7. So that's it for today. See you bright and early. Good morning. It is just before 6:30 in the morning, and I was able to get myself up. Today I have like over 3.5 hours to go to La Paz, and I'm supposed to be there by 10:30 to get on the ferry. So I don't normally get up this and leave this early, but yeah, I slept pretty well. So they had a really nice coffee maker in the room, and I'm just gonna have a cup of coffee and then could go in here in just a few minutes. Gracias. My alarm went off at 6, and about 3 seconds later, there was very loud Mexican music playing outside, bass and everything, which went on for like 5 minutes. And then there was a car out there with its high beams on. I don't know if they were trying to wake up some other fishermen or what. But anyway, I was getting up as it was. This town is so different. I've never been in a town where all the streets are sand before. I walked to dinner last night it was about 10 minutes. And yeah, sure enough, sand everywhere. Probably going faster would make it a little bit more stable, but Man, that just unnerves me when the front wheel starts to mush out. Of course, there's no other cars in town, and I have the one car driving right behind me. Take that back. There's a truck. Yes, I happen to be right in front of the school, and everyone is dropping their kids off. Man, not even 7 o'clock yet. Here we go, pavement. It's so strange how the streets are just all sand for most of the town. Well, that was a very nice little town. They also have whale watching there. The town gets really good reviews for the whale tours, and apparently some scuba diving too. I went out for dinner last night and had 2 gorditas, and then had a long conversation with the lady after dinner about the town and, you know, where I was from. And she told me all about the whale watching, and that people come there, of course, for fishing and scuba diving. And her Spanish was so slow and easy to understand. Like, we just had a full, long conversation. But some people speak so fast that the words just run together, and I can't quite keep up. Someday I'll get there. All right, we are just about 1.5 miles from the ferry terminal. We should be just right on time. It's set to be there at 10:30, and it is just about 10 minutes past that. There is the ferry, which will take me on the 8-hour trip to mainland Mexico. I always love ferry rides. I just find them so much fun. You're like traveling to a new destination. Never taken a cruise before, but lots of ferries. Okay, he's waving me in. Buenos días. Sí. I have it buried here. ¿Listo?
¿Es Michelle?
¿Cómo?
¿Usted se llama Michelle?
Sí.
Hay que abrir las maletas, ahorita vengo a revisar.
All right, inspection is done. Gracias. I said this on my trip 15 years ago. I don't know why they give motorcyclists such a hard time. Like, you wanted to go through like 3 of the bags. Like, what am I going to be bringing on this little bike? The cars, they barely look into it all. Like check, oh, open the door, oh, what's this? But a bike, you know, I gotta open the bags, pull the stuff out, and then when they're done, they're like, okay, you're good. And then it takes 10 minutes to kind of put everything back together. And all these big trucks kind of like open the back door and then take one quick look and then wave them on through.
¿Pacaferri?
Sí,
¿Pacaferri?
sí, sí. A los mochis.
Para Topo.
Oh, Topolobampo. Sí.
Terminando. $2.10.
Well, I have no idea where I'm supposed to go. I haven't seen any other vehicle come in that was in the inspection line. Maybe this guy will help me up here. Hola.
Buenas.
Topolobampo?
Vamos. ¿De qué lado viene? Para el compañero.
Still haven't had anyone actually look at the ticket. Very confusing. Got that all sorted. I just had to go in and get the electronic ticket printed out. But there's like no sign in any building. I mean, sure, if you've done it once, then yeah, it's pretty explanatory, but it was just a little confusing. Anyway, I will go back, let the guy scan my ticket, and then ride Brisa onto the ferry.
¿Listo?
Listo, ya tengo.
Eso mero. Lado izquierdo. De frente.
Okay, gracias. All right, here we go. To the left in front. Arriba! Oh. All right. Gracias. Follow this guy. Aquí. ¿Cómo?
¿Vienen 2, 3 motos?
No, solo yo.
Ah, ok. ¿Así?
Okay. Brisa and Botas are both all set up for the trip. We're gonna go upstairs now and try to find our seats. 8-hour trip. We're about to set sail. They're taking in the lines. This really cool seating area up top. Oh, I love ferries. Just a feeling of excitement about being on this big ship. Going to somewhere new and different. People are getting So this ferry, like I said, leaves at 1:30 in the afternoon, and it's an 8-hour trip over to Topolobampo, which is on the mainland. And so I'm gonna get in at 9:30, and then I got a place to stay at a scuba dive resort, like right near the terminal. So I don't have to drive that far after dark. We have arrived. Gracias. Oh, this time going the wrong way, or oh, yes. Ah. Sí. Sí, sí, entiendo. All right, stop filming here. I should have left the camera recording on that. Those guys inspecting, the one guy really liked botas. He's like, botas. I said, sí, es botas. I still feel kind of weird in general about recording people. I'm just not quite used to that yet. And I especially feel weird about recording military guys and such. So I've been turning off the camera. Hola. Oh, gracias. All right, I think that was the last checkpoint. So, let's go find the downtown and maybe a little place to get some tacos. I will say, it is hot over here. I think it's the humidity. Anyway, let's go find this dive shop and the room I booked. They operate as a hotel too. I looked on their website for diving and they charge a lot of money for diving, like 4,000 pesos for 2 tanks, which is like over $200, which is a lot. So it also said it's an 8-hour tour. So I'm thinking they must go, I don't know, pretty far offshore. Must be quite a boat trip for it to be kind of that long and that pricey. So I can't, even if I get booked for tomorrow, I can't really afford to spend that time and get back so late and then ride through Sinaloa 2.5 hours to Choix. I don't know. I'll have to ask someone how to say that. The next town is the end of the asphalt road before entering Copper Canyon, which is just under 200 miles to get out. I'm not sure how much of that is dirt, but probably a fair bit of it. So in this video, I started on the Sea of Cortez, rode down here, cut back to the Pacific Ocean side of Baja, and rode out to the coast here at Puerto San Carlos. Then got up the next morning and rode down to La Paz, where I took the ferry over to Topolobampo in Sinaloa and spent the night. So So I really hope you enjoyed watching this video. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you'd like to follow the rest of the trip to Argentina, at least so you can find this channel again. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video.